What's up, everybody? Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers with a game update. So this one's pretty short. Basically, they added the modding API. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. They did add the modding API, though. So there's a lot of little things in this one. The modding API is the forerunner, and it's not really so much a visual thing that I personally feel qualified to show off. I'm not really sure if there's anything in place at the moment to show it off. There was some in the actual official video for the update, but I think they had a few example scripts running in the background. I'm not positive on that. So, what the modding API really means is that you can actually, modders and things can start converting gameplay with scripts. I believe it's set up for C#. This will be really neat as far as an example being the food mod that we were looking at in the last episode of the Survival Let's Play. How it doesn't actually do anything, it's mostly just there. Well, with the modding API, now that mod will then be able to update and add hunger. And if that happens, then you'll have to actually use the food and stuff like that to make everything that you need, which is really cool. I'm kind of looking forward to, kind of like all the other things that I've added, I wish. No, all the things that have been added by the devs that I kind of have mentioned in my update videos going, the potential is amazing. It's kind of the same thing with the modding API. The sky's the limit with that, now that the scripts can actually be accessed and tweaked and added new gameplay, new functions. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. So that is really the big hook to this episode, or to this update. However, I can't really give you guys an accurate example of it, in my opinion. So we're going to go over the other things. The thing I'm probably most excited about right now for this update is reloadable missile launchers, at least for the small ships. We've seen before that the rocket launchers can't be reloaded except manually. Well, now there's reloadable rocket launchers for small ships, not for large ships or stations, because I think the rockets on these can be reloaded. Let's do a quick confirmation test here. I believe, yeah, see, this has a conveyor port, so you can plug a conveyor tube into this and reload it. You can't do that on the small ships because they have no ports, so you currently had to go like this and click on them and put rockets in them. Now, with these are flat little square ones that you actually can connect to. Oh, I can't do that one. We're gonna do it like they did in their update video, because I know that'll work. Let me grab a frame. Meant to do that. Totally meant to do that. Yep. Yep. I hope there's still a gyro on this ship. Okay. You don't need that normally, it's just to get the spacing right to where it connects. So now, this is like a conveyor tube that you could go in and put rockets in there. Let's see if we can't do an example. Is this okay? So what I'm going to do is fly over here. Now in creative you might not see the reload. I don't know, but I can show this off. So we're going to put this in the cargo container. I don't know if that'll go anywhere offhand. Okay. Inventory. No. Okay, so then we can select this. Let's see about reloadable. Use conveyor system. Now, it's hard to showcase because... Oh, I don't have any more gyros. It's hard to showcase because you're in we're in creative mode. So it's just going to have basically infinite ammo. But with the conveyor system on... You can, well, that shows an example right there that we can just load them in, which you couldn't do before either, so... Okay, there is a wait time for it. You can fire 4 shots and then it has to reload, basically. 4. And then there's a pause because the rockets have to reload. Huh. That's pretty cool. Rather accurate, the whole reloading thing. Okay. So that's the reloading rocket part. Side note, this episode is probably going to be fairly short unless I just get talking, which is known to happen from time to time. Respawn ship cooldown time. So let me make sure I'm set for this. Okay. I don't think I can actually kill myself in this because we're in creative mode. No. Alright, so basically what that does is when you die, the window that comes up and lets you pick, do you want to go to the medical bay, do you want to go to a respawn ship, do you want to just spawn in a new suit? Now, if you were to pick any of the respawn ships, there's a cooldown timer, so you could click it and it'll be like, okay, well in 10 minutes, you'll respawn and you'll get another ship. And you can set the cooldown in the world settings now. When you're creating a world in the advanced settings, you can set whether it be default, faster, slower, of a cooldown, etc., etc. So that's pretty interesting. I'm sure that will affect... What is going on with my feet? What? Okay, so if I turn... What did I do? I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. Apparently when I fell, I broke my legs. That's too funny. Alright, anyways, that's random. I don't know what I... Alright, I'm done. I'm done, I promise. One more time. Okay, so anyways, that's so weird. Okay, don't know what I did for that. So yeah, that's the respawn cooldown times. Moddable door open distance. Oh, that's new. I don't think we'll be able to do it in here. If it's moddable, it's probably... Yeah, I don't see any HUD or anything for it, so apparently when you're modding now, you can set how open the distance is for the door, or something like that. I could be misreading that. If I'm wrong, don't worry about it. But yeah, the opening distance is probably... Moddable door opened it. I don't remember that being in the changelog. I don't remember reading that. So I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Anyways, so that's another moddable thing now, is the opening distance, I guess. Let's see what else. Search and inventory by item name. So this is something that's pretty darn amazing. So when we go in here, there's really nothing else in here. Iron ingot. So let's say, out of all this, I'm looking through here, but I really just want the iron ingot. So we can type in iron ingot. So now either any cargo container, so it only brings up this container because there's iron there, and it brings up the refinery because there's iron there, and nothing else is shown. Now it will also bring up things that are named with iron in them. So let's, for example, find one of the grinders, and let's just grab this one and say iron grinder. So like this is all I'm going to use this for, is iron grinding. Now if you were to type in iron ingot, it should, it's because I have iron ingot in there. I might be wrong about this. Hold on. I apparently am wrong about that. Okay. So, scratch that, ignore that. It goes by inventory, not title. I thought if it had iron in the name... Wait a minute. Hold on. It didn't change... Do I have to back out, maybe? No, it still has it listed as grinder 2. Alright, well that's odd. Huh, that's really weird. Anyways, in the video from the devs, it looked as though if the title was something with that in it, it would also bring up that, even if it didn't have... Wow, that was a lot of vague pronouns. Okay, let me rephrase. It'll go by whatever's in the inventory, but based on the devs video, it appeared, I could be wrong, that if you change the name of an object and then search for something, if the name of the object, whether it had it in its inventory or not, contained whatever's in the search bar, like this, if this was iron assembler, it looked like if you typed in iron, this would come up as well, even though there's no iron in here. I could be wrong about that. I might have not seen that right. But it should simplify things and help you find stuff now, which is always a good thing. And the last thing on the list is the Fighter Cockpit mod is no longer a mod. Well, it is, but it isn't. The Fighter Cockpit by Darth Biomech, which we've seen a lot in the Inspiration series. It crops up every now and again. Let's get rid of that. Put that there. It's the strangest place to put a cockpit, but whatever. This one is now part of the main game. It is no longer necessary to be a mod, because it's actually part of the official game now, which is really awesome. Congrats to Darth Biomech for getting your mod added into the official game. That's awesome and amazing. If I was a modder, I would like to do something like this and then hope that it would get into the real game. That would just be amazing. So, unfortunately, that's really all I have. Wait, there's something else. It's not listed here. What am I missing? Inertial Dampers. That's what it was. Can I put this not available for large ship? Fine. Okay. So, the only part to this I don't quite get, like if you're flying here, you can see that it says dampeners on. If you hit Z, it turns them off. You hit Z, it turns them on. This is the only thing I'm not sure why this is in here, per se, other than for just more control legitimately through computer systems, or if they're planning on taking it out eventually. Inertia dampeners can be turned on and off through the HUD now, or through the HUD, through the menu. I think that applies not to thrusters, but to the cockpit, maybe? Wait, do we have a cockpit on this? What am I in? Flight seat. Oh. Okay. So the flight seat has handbrake. I don't remember that being there. Inertial? I thought it was inertia. Whatever. So now you can see they're off, and we're floating. Turn them on, and it stops them. Like I said, this is an interesting feature, because you could do things for, like, remote, because you can add... there we go. You can add from the flight seat, control thrusters, wheel, handbrake, or inertial dampeners. So, I mean, that's interesting as far as it's probably mostly useful for remote, I would imagine. Maybe. But I gotta be honest and say, when you can just hit Z, I'm not entirely sure what the purpose is. There probably is a purpose that I'm just not understanding. Like, you can't do that on a remote pilot or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But that is one of the other features that was added, was the ability to control dampeners through the main hotbar and control panel. But unfortunately, I think that's all I really have to go over today, hence the goofy little intro that I did. I thought that was kind of funny. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time, I guess. Peace!